mantra loilo magiya. Hey Hari Nama mantra loilo magiya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, the translation to this beautiful song is that Lord Gauranga, this is Lord Chaitanya, he was also called Gauranga, Gaurasundar, Gaurachandra, because his complexion was golden. Yeah. We are told in the scriptures that he is not different from Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto, the great sage Karbhajana Rishi, speaking to the king Maharaj Nimi, he tells him, he mentions Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in one verse. Several verses he begins his conversation with the king. He begins by telling him that in every age the Supreme Lord appears as the Yuga Avatar. Yuga Avatar. For each age, and these ages are long periods of time. The Kali Yuga alone lasts over 4 billion years. And the Kali Yuga began 5,000 years ago. So we have a long way to go, and things are already degraded. Things are already bad. But the sage Karbhajana Muni, he was one of 9 rishis, saintly persons. They were known as the Navayogendras. Very learned, and so his teachings are here in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, is such a unique scripture. It is the best of all the Puranas, and it exclusively deals with Krishna. In the 10th canto, the life of Krishna is given. So in this 11th canto, Karbhajana Rishi is talking, and he's explaining to the Maharaj Nimi that in every yuga the Lord appears as a Yuga Avatar. And he says in Dwapara Yuga he appears as Krishna. Now he is speaking this before Krishna even appears. That is the wonderful feature of Srimad Bhagavatam. The incarnations are predicted long before they come. So he said, Krishna appears in Dwapara Yuga near the ending of Dwapara Yuga, and he is blackish in complexion, like a monsoon rain cloud, Sham Sundar. And he dresses in a yellow dhoti, and he's very beautiful. He said, so he's the Yuga avatar for Dwapara Yuga. And then he goes to Kali Yuga, which is the present age. And he tells the king that, what is the verse? Oh yes, he says, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishna Sango Pangastra Parshadam Jagai Sankirtana Prayai Yajanti Hi Sumedasaha. He says, in this Kali Yuga, find this. He says, O king, I have finished describing the incarnations for different ages. They were all there. Who come, the incarnations come to this world to remind people of the most appropriate duty for that age. So Krishna came, and Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, which is still studied today. 5,000 years later, Bhagavad Gita is still studied by intelligent men around the world. There are over 600 different editions of Bhagavad Gita. So it's not just a dusty old book from the past. It still is relevant. So he says, the incarnations come to tell us that if you do this, you will get the greatest benefit. So after the Dwapara Yuga is finished, the age of Kali comes. And the incarnation for this age of Kali has been mentioned in many places throughout the Vedas. But now I'm going to explain that information to you. And he speaks this verse, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Jagai Sankirtana Prayai Yajantihi Sumedasaha. He says, in a suppressed way, this verse explains the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The ordinary meaning of Krishna Varnam is that means of a blackish color. But then the other words, Akrishnam, means his luster, his complexion is not black. He's Krishna, but he is not in a blackish complexion. He is accompanied by his associates and expansions, and he is worshipped by the process of Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. And those of sharp intellect will perform this kind of worship. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, and people in general may not know this, even followers of Vedas, even the Indian population may not know. They say, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? But he is described in this verse as always chanting the names of Krishna. It's always coming out of his mouth. And that was how he lived. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught all over India, chanting and dancing and teaching people, thousands, millions of people to chant Hare Krishna. And he taught that this is the process for this age. This is the method of worship, so that you can be successful in your human form of life. Human form, we get this human form of life after a long time. Many births. Krishna tells Arjuna, many births you have been through. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. Because when we change bodies, it's like everything is erased. We have no recollection of our previous life. We enter this life and we think, I am this body, this is my father, this is my mother. But we don't know that we had mother and fathers before. In every birth you get mother and father. Even in not only human life, in the animal species also. They have mother and father too. But in the human form of life, we can get father, we can get what is called second birth, where father, we get spiritual master or guru, and the mother is Vedas, Veda Mata. So, if you are a fortunate person, intelligent person, then the Vedas direct us. Even Krishna says it in Bhagavad Gita, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. He says you have to approach a spiritual person, spiritual master, who can explain you. He can educate you. You get this other kind of education in the university, but you get no knowledge of yourself. And you don't know what to speak of, what is the goal of life. We don't get that kind of knowledge. You know? America has so many universities. How many? I don't know. You know? Maybe thousands, not only hundreds. In every state there are so many. Right? But in all of them there is no department for teaching what is this Atma Tattva, the science of the soul, who you are. So if you don't know who you are, how are you going to be happy? You don't know who you are, what you are, so all your endeavors at becoming happiness, achieving happiness, are all frustrated. Ultimately they're frustrated by death. But in between birth and death, there is disease and old age you have to battle with. And so human life is meant for inquiry about Atma Tattvam, the soul. The author, the compiler of the Vedas, Srila Vyas Muni, in his treatise, the Vedanta Sutra, he says, he begins it by saying, now is the time, atato brahma jigyasa. Now is the time to begin inquiry about Brahma, spirit. Now this time he means human time. That's the time we are in right now, your human time. Because in other forms of life, you couldn't do this. You didn't have the facility to inquire who am I? And where do we go from here? What happens after this body? You don't get that. Cats and dogs cannot inquire like that. But you can. Human life is for learning. But not just to learn, about matter, not just to, it's for learning, but not just about the material world, because that is always changing, and how long will you be here? Right? So it's for inquiring about spirit, Brahma. So we as I began by saying, we come to this human form of life, we get the human form of life after long period of time, going through the lower species. We are told, Padma Purana, in the Padma Purana, it states that there are 8,400,000 different species of life, and the smallest amount is the human. So we've been through all of them, trying to enjoy, trying to be happy. But now we've come to the human form. It's a junction. It's a chance, an opportunity to get out of that cycle of birth and death. It is a cycle, it goes round and round. Sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. It's like you go to the, well, when I was younger they would have these carnivals, these fairs. I'm sure they're still happening in different places where they have Ferris wheel. Yeah? The Ferris wheel, you get on and it goes round and round, and sometimes it's coming up, sometimes going down. Depending on where you are on the wheel, you're either going up or going down. So, as human beings, we want to go up, but some of us are acting in ways that will take us down. We've come up as a human being. We've taken birth in the human form of life. But if we misuse this opportunity and don't inquire about the soul, don't inquire about God, there are people who say, there is no God. God is dead. This kind of ignorance is commonplace. But human form, we can inquire, and there are answers. Vyasa has given us the Vedas, the Puranas. Everything is explained, the Upanishads. So all your questions can be answered, but you have to go to the right place and the right person. Everything can be understood. There is a process of acquiring knowledge. So you want to study medicine, you go to med school. Even before you go to med school, you have to go to university, to qualify yourself to pursue that. And then there's more years of learning. Right? Anything you want to study, you could study about anything. If you want, you could go and study about a grain of sand. And there's so much information to know. But that is not what we are meant to study. Why not study about me? Who am I? So in this song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole. Why do you remove it from the screen? He is telling us, Jeev Jago. Jiva means the soul. He said, wake up, sleeping soul. Wake up, sleeping soul. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? Maya means that which is not, illusion. Maya is another name for the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. It is His inferior energy, and we belong to the superior energy, but because of our minute size, we come under the influence of the inferior energy. In material life, in material consciousness, we are under the influence of the illusory energy. We are thinking, I am something which I am not. We are thinking, I am this body. Right? But I am not. What am I? That we don't know. But as I say, Lord Chaitanya is calling. He says, you have forgotten the way of devotional service. Means to Bhagavan, to God. And you are lost in the world of birth and death. We've forgotten. We've forgotten what is our position. It's like everyone is suffering from amnesia. You ever meet someone with amnesia? They don't know who they are, they don't know. Someone, it's pretty, it's sad. Many years ago, one of my friends, grandfather, they call it, I think they call it Alzheimer's. Yeah, it's like, he was fine up until a certain age, and then all his knowledge of who he was, his wife, children, he wouldn't know. Even his own wife, who he lived with married for 50 years, she'd walk in the room and he would look at her and said, who are you? What are you doing here? It was sad to see him like this. And sometimes he would leave his house and go walking in the street and get lost. Luckily, there were some policemen parading the neighborhood would see him and stop and say, sir, where are you going? And he didn't know where he was going. He didn't know where his home was. So this happens. This is a type of disease. And it increases to such an extent that eventually they die. So Lord Chaitanya says, you are lost in a world of birth and death, and you have forgotten the way of devotional service, service to Krishna. You've forgotten that. When our Srila Prabhupada came to America, one reporter met him at the airport and said to him, Swamiji, why have you come to America? We already have religion. Shouldn't you go to somewhere where there is no religion? He said, why have you come? And Prabhupada said, I have come to teach what you have forgotten. You have forgotten the way of devotional service to God. Yes, you have so many big churches. Sometimes in the morning I go for a long walk down that street there. I walk all the way to Safeway. There's at least 2 or 3 churches on the way. But nothing's going on there. Nobody's coming. Because what can they give them? What are they getting if they go there? So, move up the screen, the next verse. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yeah. So Lord Chaitanya continues saying, Haribol. He says, I have descended just to save you. As we told you, the incarnations come to this world for the benefit of people. He says, I have descended just to save you, and other than myself, you have no friend in this world. Yeah, thank you. He said, other than myself, you have no friend in this world. We are thinking, this one is my friend, and we determine who is friend and who is enemy. Right? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you have no friend in this world. Other than myself, he says, you have no friend. And I have come just to save you. I have brought the medicine. The word for medicine is Aushadhi. He says, I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you are suffering. Take this Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, this is the medicine for us. You know, if how many medicines there are in the drugstore? So many medicines. You know, for every ache and pain, there's so many medicines over the counter. But to wipe out the illusion, the disease, that is the main disease. We are under this illusion. We're thinking, I am something which I am not. So there's a medicine for that. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I have brought this medicine. If there's a medicine that can cure all your diseases, that would be very good medicine. So he said, I have brought it. Take this Maha Mantra. This Maha Mantra, Lord Chaitanya taught that Cheto Darpana Marjanam, it cleanses the heart of all the dust which we've accumulated for many years, many births. See, when you quit this body, your karma goes with you. You can't take anything else with you. You can't take your money, you can't take your house, you can't take your car, your family, but your karma. And you are placed, you are forced to take birth. And when you appear, you don't know anything. Even as a human being, let's say you get another human birth, you won't remember this birth, this past life. You won't. And you will have to start all over again, you'll have to go to school again. So, but if you take to this chanting, this Hare Krishna mantra, then Lord Chaitanya says, it will cleanse your mind and your heart, and with a pure heart, then you can, as the heart gradually becomes pure, more you can understand who you are. You can see, you can understand the self, and you can understand God, and what is your relationship with Him. This kind of knowledge about the relationship between yourself and the Supreme, this is called Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha Gyan. You understand what is what, who you are. We do have a relationship, but now we don't know. We are on the platform of don't know. ignorance. So, but as we began saying, the avatar, for the Yuga avatar, comes and gives the process for the age. He recommends, this is what you should do. And this is supported throughout the Vedas. So this Yuga avatar, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is actually a very special Yuga avatar. In one day of Brahma, Lord Brahma is the architect of the universe, there are many yugas, many cycles take place. And once, during one day of Brahma, Krishna appears on schedule. And the same, just after Krishna appears and after Krishna goes back to his Nitya Leela, Goloka, in the Kali Yuga right after Krishna leaves, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. But he doesn't come in every Kali Yuga. Neither does Krishna come in every Dwapara Yuga. So we are very, very fortunate to come so close to the Yuga avatar appearance, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why we say this? Because it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, who revealed what is Radha and Krishna affairs. This was not known before. It was not known before. People forgot about it. Because in 5,000 years' time, a lot changes. You know? You build a nice house, big house. You come back even in couple hundred years, it won't be there, it will be deteriorated or it won't be there. So when Krishna was present, in Vrindavan, and Mathura, and Dwarka, these places were, in 5,000 years they were gone. They say, I read somewhere that there are some ruins in Dwarka, where Dwarka existed. It's on the coast. Krishna had his palace. Right? You heard about that?
Yeah, I think they say it's sea.
It's in the ocean.
In the ocean.
Yeah. His palace was... Yeah. There is some archaeological remnants. If you're looking for that, for proof, it's there. But we don't so much care about that. The proof that Krishna was there, that Krishna was indeed more a historical personality, is the fact that his devotees are the proof. They are Krishna bhaktas, devotees of Krishna still, and there are temples. Even though we cannot find, archaeological proof of Mathura and Dwarka, but these places are still there. Vrindavan is there. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, just 500 years ago, Vrindavan was a jungle. It was covered over. But if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, the description of how things were when Krishna was living there with his family, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd boys, Balaram was there, so on. It was paradise. But in 5,000 years it became a jungle. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went there, went to Vrindavan, and he identified places. here is Shyamakund, and here's Radha Kund, here is this. He knows because he's Krishna. And he then ordered his followers, his disciples, the 6 Goswamis, to go and live there and develop, revive Vrindavan. And now today there are over 5,000 temples in Vrindavan. It is it's amazing. But things were covered over so much. I remember on my first visit to India, this was 1977, and we first went to Mayapur, which is in Bengal. We went to Mayapur first to, Prabhupada was with us, and we celebrated the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which incidentally is coming, it's approaching us on the 20th of this month, Gora Purnima. We'll be celebrating here, so you all are invited to come and celebrate the appearance, the advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we went to Mayapur first, and we spent about maybe 12 days in Mayapur, and Prabhupada was there, and every day he would speak, give classes on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I thought, this is as good as it gets. It can't be in any better place, a better time. But then after we finished there, we were the group, which was a large group of devotees coming from the West, from America, Canada, England. There was a large group, I don't know, maybe a couple thousand devotees going to India. And we were leaving there to go to Vrindavan, which is also dear to the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you cannot even, if you talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you're going to very soon be talking about Krishna. And because he revealed Krishna Leela, especially Radha and Krishna, what had been forgotten, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it. So we were going to Vrindavan, but then we decided, actually Prabhupada recommended that the group, make a stop in Bombay. Mumbai now, Bombay we were calling it back then. Because we have a big temple there in Juhu Beach. And Prabhupada wanted us to come there and see it. It wasn't completely finished, the project, but maybe it was 70%. The temple was already built, the deity worship was going on, and so we went. But when we got to the airport, when we arrived at the airport in Mumbai, we were, before getting transportation to take us to Juhu, we were milling around in the airport, and there are many shops. And while we were there, until the leaders tell us, okay, bus is waiting outside and you can go and it will take you to Juhu. But while we were waiting, I was just kind of wandering around, staying in the vicinity of the devotees. And one man, a shopkeeper, shop owner, he saw that I was alone, and he approached me. And he had never seen this many foreigners, Western devotees, dressed in robes and shaved heads and so on, and tilak. He was stunned at seeing so many. So he came up to me and he said, "What is this? What are you all doing here?" This was a new thing, 1977. So I told him, "We are members of ISKCON." "What is that?" The International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He hadn't heard of it yet. He was he lived in his world. I mean, we all live in the world of our minds, right? This is where we live, in the world of our mind. So he said, "And where are you going?" I said, "Well, we are, just for one day, we are going to Juhu Beach, because our spiritual master is building a project, a big temple with a guest house and everything." I said, "But we will only be here for one day, and then from there we're going to Vrindavan." So when I said that to him, that we're going to Vrindavan, he said to me, and I was very shocked, he said, "Vrindavan? What is there? Why are you going there? That is just a dusty village." I wasn't prepared to hear somebody. I thought everybody in India knows about Vrindavan. I thought everybody would be like Prabhupada. But this man, he enlightened me that no. He said, "What is there? Why are you going there? There's nothing there. It's just a dusty village." I said, "My dear sir, you are most unfortunate. This is your conception of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is the land of Krishna, where the Supreme Lord comes and performs his Leela, his pastimes. That is a holy place. We say Vrindavan Dham. We say Ayodhya Dham. We say Mayapur Dham. Dham means it's a spiritual abode. When the Lord comes, He brings His abode with Him. He brings it and establishes it. So I said, "And you're born here and you don't know anything about this? You think it's just a dusty village?" So I said, "You are most unfortunate." He thought I was probably crazy for saying that. But I came to realize he's not the only one, he's not the only Indian who thinks like that. But we were fortunate to come in touch with a personality like Srila Prabhupada, who was a pure devotee of Krishna, and he patiently took the time to teach us about who we are and what is the purpose of life. And Prabhupada wanted to do this not only in America, but all over the world. He said this was the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all of us, we have some indebtedness to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Most of you are Indians, right? I look around the room, most of you are. One or two Americans. But you all came from Bharatvarsha, India. So you are so far away from your homeland, but by Prabhupada's mercy, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, there are now temples for you to come and revive your consciousness, keep your Krishna consciousness alive. Because in the West, it's very easy to lose it, to lose your consciousness. because everything is geared, you know, the media, you know, the television, the computers, everything is trying to get your consciousness away from Krishna consciousness. You know? So Krishna consciousness is a way of life. We don't say it's a religion. No. Krishna consciousness is the original consciousness of everyone. We have just forgotten it, as Lord Chaitanya says, you have forgotten the way of devotional service, which is your main business, to serve Krishna. This is your eternal role. Now you have adopted some other roles. Now, it doesn't mean that you should be irresponsible. No, you have duties to do, you have families to raise, but don't forget your Krishna consciousness. And if you adopt the method of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then the door is opened for your highest prospect. By this method, your dormant love of God will be awakened and grow. So, in a few minutes we are going to have the Aarti ceremony. Everyone will stand at that time and chant and dance and be happy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was always chanting, and his dancing came from his chanting. If you chant sincerely, automatically you will feel like dancing. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his dancing is described, it was a manifestation of his ecstasy. And he went all over India, chanting and dancing, and singing the names of Krishna and Ram. Such a nice process. If you search the Vedas, you will not find a more wonderful process. And what's more is that this is what is recommended for this age, recommended by the Yuga avatar himself. I was saying that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't come every Kali Yuga. No. Generally, the other Kali Yugas, which there are many, an expansion of Narayan comes. And Narayan is an expansion of an expansion of an expansion of Krishna. But when in this Kali Yuga, right after Krishna makes his appearance and leaves to go back to Goloka, that Kali Yuga, Krishna comes again as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is Krishna making an encore appearance. And he's coming in this guise as a devotee of Krishna to teach how to worship Krishna in this age. Because in Kali Yuga we are unqualified. You know? In the Srimad Bhagavatam says, Kalo Sudra Sambhavan. In Kali Yuga, everyone is born a Sudra. We meet people that will say, no, I'm born in a Brahmin family. But they are not acting like a Brahmin. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, never mind. Take the chanting and everything will be adjusted. And by this process, you will revive and develop your love of God. So love of God is the highest achievement for a living being. We say, we don't want to be God, as some other people may say. No, we want to develop love of God. Why? Because love of God, Krishna subordinates himself to that. He's conquered by love. They say love conquers all. It's true. It even conquers God. He's conquered by the love of Srimati Radharani, standing next to him there. He's conquered. So we want to develop love of God. And that is the highest love we can achieve. And it's so easy to achieve. Just chant Hare Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, as I say, very, very important to us, to everyone. Some know it, some don't. But now you come on the 20th. It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday, but there'll be festivities going all day through the night. So take some time away from your busy life and come and chant and dance and celebrate the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haribol. What is your name, Prabhu? You? Maitreya. Hare Krishna. This is your son? What's his name? Ages. Huh? Oh, Ajita. Ajita means unconquerable. There is a verse in the Bhagavatam that says, Krishna, who is Ajita, unconquerable, he becomes conquered. He becomes conquered by love, by bhakti. He will take a subordinate position. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, on the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna took the position as a chariot driver, a chauffeur. And Arjuna was like the master. He ordered Krishna, go this way. I want to see who is joined with that rascal Duryodhana. I want to see who's come here to fight. Pull my chariot there. And Krishna said, yes sir, like a chauffeur. Sometimes he would act as a messenger for Yudhishthira, for the Pandavas. Many instances Krishna showed that any way his devotee wants him to be, he will be. Pure devotee. Because he is ruled by love. So, we can, Haribol. Okay. Until the arti begins, we will have a little kirtan, and then we will, when the pujari comes out, then we will stand up. But for now we will chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Haribol. So Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaya Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadisha Tarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Ikatadine Kiba Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arotiko Shobha Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arotiko Shobha Jana Vitata Vani Jagamana Lobha Rakin Nitai Chan Bame Gadadhara Nikot Te Advaita Srini Vasa Chatra Dara Yachin Gorachan Ratna Singha Sani Yachin Gorachan Ratna Singha Sani Aroti Korin Brahma Adideva Gane Ikorinda Brahma Adideva Ibanara Haryadi Kori Chamara Julaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Goshadi Gaya Tanka Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala Tanka Baje Baje Karatala Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramara Tala Madhura Mridanga Madhur 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 Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Shankha Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje 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 Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Radhana Yujala Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Radhana Yujala Galadeshe Bonnamala Pure Jalamala Shiva Shukanarada Prime Gada Gada Shiva Shukana Radha Preme Gada Radha Bhakati Vinoda Dekhe Gaura Rasam Pada Bhakati Vinoda Dekhe Gaura Rasam Pada Iba Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Aroti ko shobha Jayo Jana Vitatavani Jagamana Lova Jaga Jana Mana Lobha Jaga Jana Mana Lobha Jaga Jana Mana Lobha Gorangera Rotik Shobha Jaga Jana Mana Lobha Gorangera Rotik Shobha Jaga Jana Mana Lobha Gorangera Rotik Shobha Jaga Jana Mana Lobha Gaurangera Rotik Shobha Jaga Jana Mana Lobha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol. Jai Nitalila Pravishom Vishnupad Paramhamsa Paribraja Kacharya Studara Sadasisiman. His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Nitya Lila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramhamsa Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Ki. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem se go Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Ki. Sisi Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki. Sisi Radha Nila Madhava Ki. Ganga Devi Jamuna Mai Ki. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki. Nama Sankirtana Ki. Harinam Maha Mantra Ki. Brihat Mridanga Seva Ki. Paramo Karuna Sri Sri Gaur Nityananda Ki. Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki. Sri Radha Nilmadhava Ki. Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanju Ki. Sri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Ki. Sam Veda Bhakta Brindu Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Actually, it's in my room. It's not my book. It's in on my bed.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Daini. Pralada Lada Daini. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatanka Kalaye. Shilatanka Kalaye. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha. Yato yato yami tato Nrsimha. Yato yato yami tato Nrsimha. Nrsimho, Hridaye Nrsimho. Bahir Nrsimho, Hridaye Nrsimho. Nrsimhamadin Sharanam Prapade. Nrsimhamadin Sharanam Prapade. Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Ad Bhuta Shringham. Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Ad Bhuta Shringham. Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringham. Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringham. Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Narahari, Jaya Narahari, Narahari, Jaya Narahari. Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki, Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gaura Premanande. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So today's Sunday feast sponsors are Vibha Shri on occasion of her birthday and Mahesh Jonnala on occasion of his birthday. So our Vibha and Mahesh are here. They can get the blessings from the altar here. Vibha and Mahesh. So upcoming events, we have VCC Maha Cleanup on March 17th. This is just before Gaura Purnima. This is the Gundicha margin. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally died. So we have an opportunity to do the temple cleanup, every nook and corner. Please do come, and there is an email and the WhatsApp group message already has gone out. So please do sign up. Everybody can participate, including the kids, for the Maha cleanup. And the Gaura Purnima, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day is on March 20th, 20. And then we have the Holy Festival of Colors, which is on March 23rd. And we are you see volunteers at the welcome desk, and you can buy the tickets for the Holy Festival of Colors. And you can also sign up for volunteers. If you want to volunteer with us, please do sign up at the front desk. And then March 24th, the Sunday, the noon, we will be having Mahanagar Sankirtan. Every year, we all go out in the streets of the Seattle, Westlake Center mostly. So we do assemble there and we do Mahanagar Sankirtan. And we would like to have more than 300 plus people to show up for this Mahanagar Sankirtan. Every year we get almost 300, but this time we want to not less than 300 people. Again, please do come on March 24th. On April 7th we have Srinivasa Kalyanam, and April 13th is Sri Ramanavami and Sitaram Kalyanam. So we have a busy month ahead. Please do watch out for our notifications either in the email or in the WhatsApp group, and please do support and participate and get the blessings of Shri Radha Nilamada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we have a wonderful program this evening. It's called Soothing Evenings of Gaura Kirtan and Katha. And this is all leading up to the Gaura Purnima festival coming up. Agnidev Prabhu will lead us in chanting this beautiful stotram. So it's a 72-verse stotram called the Prema Dama Deva Stotram. And it actually details all the wonderful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. The full story from the Adi Leela. Or what's the first one? Madhya Leela? What's the first one? Adi Leela. Yeah, Adi Leela to Antya Leela. So all the pastimes are there in this stotram, and it's been composed in a beautiful dancing meter. So this is an actual treat for all of us to really go deep into the Lord's pastimes and meditate upon His joyous activities, so that we can actually understand who Lord Chaitanya really is. He is non-different than Krishna Chaitanya, and so that we can get ready to celebrate His auspicious appearance on March 20th. So we'll have this stotram on displayed on the screen so everyone can follow, and in a few minutes, and then we'll have Prabhu speak about it a little bit, and we'll have Kirtan.
All the Madanga players have gone. We need a Madanga player to come. Anyone who can play the Madanga, please come forward. Yeah. But it's not on. He'll get confused to find that. Yeah? Krishna 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 He 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 Krishna 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 Raksha Mam Krishna 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 Raksha Mam Krishna 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 Pahi Mam Krishna 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 Pahi Mam Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Raksha Mam Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Raksha Mam Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahi Mam Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahi Mam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hari Bol. So, this evening we are continuing Can you put those slokas back up on the screen? They got them all?
Almost there. The take pictures are putting.
Oh, they're putting. So we are on text number 15. For the past 2 nights, each night we are doing seven slokas, 7 verses from the Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram. It is a 70-verse composition taken from the. It is based on the Chaitanya Charitamrita and other authentic writings about Lord Chaitanya. It describes Lord Chaitanya as Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, of Divine Truth, permeated with the bhav or the mood and complexion of Krishna's pleasure potency, Srimati Radharani. These verses reveal Sri Gauranga as the personification of the unlimited ocean of ecstatic love of Krishna as experienced by Srimati Radharani. It also shows how he was a kind philanthropist who gave Krishna Prem, or love of Krishna, in charity to his devotees, who in turn is giving this charity to anyone and everyone. This is the wonderful feature of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You may be hearing about Chaitanya for the first time, or you have heard a little bit about him. But now we in this 70-verse stotram, every night we'll do 7 verses. We will get to know more about Lord Chaitanya, continuing up until his appearance day, which is on the 20th of this month, so a week from Wednesday. And everyone is invited to come and celebrate the divine and auspicious appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, tonight we pick up where we left off, text number 15. What we're going to do is read, and you can follow on the screen, we're going to read the English translations of 7 verses from 15 through 22. And afterwards,
we will sing together the Sanskrit shlokas, one after the other. All right?
The last line we're reading together.
Yeah. When I get to the bottom, to the last line, I sing with joy the unending glories of my loving Gaura Sundar, my golden Lord, the divine abode of pure love. Everyone can join me on that refrain. That is the translation of the last line of each verse. So, we begin. When the king of Mlechas, if you don't know what a Mlecha is, Mlecha means meat eater. When the king of the Mlechas, who was the Chand Kaji, the Muslim ruler of Bengal at that time, when he obstructed the performance of Harinam Sankirtan, the Lord removed the fears of his devotees by directing a nocturnal Sankirtan procession decorated with hundreds of thousands of lamps and millions of voices, singing the holy name and dancing to the accompaniment of the sweet sounds of the mridanga and kartals and other musical instruments. He humbled the ruling Kaji and ultimately won his heart. He converted him. And now together, I sing with joy the unending glories of my loving Gaura Sundara, my golden Lord, the divine abode of pure love. So this is a capsule or condensed version. The entire episode is described in much greater detail in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which Srila Prabhupada gave to us and which is available here at the temple. So, in brief, when Lord Chaitanya began his Sankirtan movement of going out into the streets and chanting, there was opposition. Imagine this, there was opposition in India. Lots of opposition. And surprisingly, the opposition was not from the Muslims. Hare Krishna. As I was saying, the opposition came not from the Muslims, but surprisingly the opposition came from sections of Hindus. They could not appreciate the Sankirtan movement, the glorification of Krishna's names in the streets. Now, I'll tell you something. Many years ago, when I joined the Hare Krishna movement, I joined in New York City, and we used to go out on Sankirtan, chanting, street chanting daily, every day. Prabhupada had instructed us to go out into the streets and chant. So the very first time I went out on Harinam Sankirtan, a big van, a police van, pulled up. They used to call them paddy wagons. It's like a jail on wheels. It had wire, big thick wire, so you could see outside and people could see inside. And they ordered us all the devotees, the whole party, to go into the paddy wagon. And they took us downtown in Manhattan to the police station, the main police station. And when we got there, of course, we were cooperating. You know, the police comes and says, get in the van, you do what you are told. So the whole party went, and when we got to the station, they proceeded to fingerprint all the devotees. You know, they take your fingers and press it on a pad with black ink, and they took fingerprints. And then they took, they made us stand against a white wall with a number, holding a number across our chest. And they took pictures of that. This is called a mug shot. Now this is what they do to criminals. And they did this with all the devotees. And the president of the temple wrote to Srila Prabhupada, because Prabhupada was always traveling. Sometimes he would stay in one place for a little longer. When he came to Los Angeles, one time he stayed 3 months. But usually he would stay 3 days at each temple and just keep moving. So to get a hold of him wasn't easy. And we didn't have internet and WhatsApp and all these things. So by letter, the president wrote Prabhupada and told him what's happening. The police are arresting us and giving us citation, you know, writing up tickets, which meant we had to appear in court. And Prabhupada wrote back and said, the fact that that there is opposition like this, that the government is opposed to us, he says, this means we are really authorized. And he told us, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he started this movement in India, there was opposition. And this verse describes that the Hindus went and complained to the Muslim ruler because they were the government. And the Muslims was like surprised, they didn't know what to make of this. They said, isn't he one of you all? They were saying, you have to stop Nimai Pandit, stop Lord Chaitanya. His name was Nimai before he became Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they said, you have to stop him. He is ruining the Hindu movement. He's ruining the Hindu religion by chanting in the streets. So the Muslims, this didn't make no sense to them, the Muslim ruler. So he said, but isn't he one of you all? He's not a Muslim. And they angrily replied, he's not one of us. And I tell you all, they were right. He's not Hindu. As Srila Prabhupada used to tell us, I didn't come here to tell you all, change your Christian religion and become Hindus. No. This is something transcendental, completely spiritual. So, they say Lord Chaitanya was not a Hindu. I said, that's right. Actually, the word Hindu, where does it come from? It's a nickname given by the foreigners, by the Muslims. But today everyone thinks it's a religious name. But this word Hindu is not found in any of the Vedic scriptures. So, anyway, the ruler, he asked the Hindus who were complaining, what do you want me to do about him? And they said, you can do anything you want, but this has to stop. So the Muslim ruler, wanting to appease the people, after all they're his subjects, he declared that an order, from this day on there'll be no more Sankirtan, no more chanting in the streets. But Lord Chaitanya didn't care for that order. He told the devotees, go out and chant anyway. And they went out chanting, and the constables, the police of the ruler, the Muslim ruler, they came, and one of them with a baton, a stick, he broke the mridanga. These mridangas are made out of clay, so they're fragile. And he broke one, and he told them, this is a warning, if you all come back out and chant, We're going to arrest you all and take you to the jail. Just like they did to us in New York City, 500 years later. So, the devotees went back to Lord Chaitanya and told him what happened. That the Kazi's men broke a mridanga. So Lord Chaitanya said, we will show them who is the boss. And although he was a young man, not even 20, Lord Chaitanya had such influence. He ordered that everyone from all the surrounding villages to come out in the evening with torches, fire, torch lamps. And as described here, there were hundreds and thousands of lamps and millions of voices. And he organized this first big Harinam Sankirtan. We go out once a week here with about, what, 15, 20 devotees. And we think it's wonderful. Of course, we'd like more to come out and join us. But Lord Chaitanya was so influential, in one day, he got millions of people to come. And he led a Harinam Sankirtan party straight to the house of the Chand Kazi, the ruler of Bengal. Well, when the Kazi saw this Sankirtan party from his window upstairs, he see this party coming to his house with torches. He became afraid, and they came and stopped right in front of his house. And he was more afraid. He thought maybe they're going to burn down my house. Because actually, even though the Muslims were ruling, they were in the minority. Just like when the British were ruling India, the British were actually in the minority. The Indian population, the Indian people were just simple people, and they were tolerant. So, but when the Qazi saw them organized in a big group, well, he got afraid. He thought, uh-oh, trouble. And they were very, what you call, fired up. They were dancing and chanting ecstatically. They even entered the yard of the Qazi and they were trampling on his flower gardens. They were just so excited and they felt so confident because their leader, Lord Chaitanya, was with them. They thought, nobody can harm us now. So the Qazi, Lord Chaitanya called the Qazi to come out. He called him, he said, why are you hiding? Come out, I want to talk with you. And they had a nice conversation. This conversation, you will find it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And by the end of the conversation, the Qazi, he submitted to Lord Chaitanya. He agreed with him. Lord Chaitanya convinced him that to chant the names of God, this is recommended even in the Quran. And Lord Chaitanya could even cite evidence from the Quran. And this way he convinced the Qazi. And the Qazi made a declaration there that from that day on, many generations to come, his descendants, they will never give any trouble to the Sankirtan movement. Yeah. If you go to Mayapur, the devotees can take you to the house of the Qazi. It's not far from our Mayapur Chandradoya Mandir. So, that's the first one. Second verse. Amidst the showering of tears, amidst the showering of tears of sorrow from the eyes of millions, he, Lord Chaitanya, gladly cut off his beautiful long hair as he accepted his danda. He was taking sannyas. He shaved his head and adopted the dress of a sannyasi. Millions, as he did this, millions of voices were singing the glories of Krishna. And thereafter the people of the land cried out desperately in grief when they saw him in the dress of a sannyasi. Now you can say with me, I sing with joy the unending glories of my golden Lord Gaurasundar, the beautiful, the divine abode of pure love. As I read this and hearing how the people were crying and in sorrow that Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, I remember many years ago reading one of these comic books from India. What do they call? Amar Chitra Katha. And this comic was describing Bhishma Dev. You know Bhishma Dev from Mahabharata? So he was a prince. What was his name before? Devavrata, yes. And I don't want to go into the whole story, but his father, who was Maharaj Shantanu, yes, he wanted to marry. This is all divine arrangement, actually. But he was attracted to, he was the emperor of the world, and he got attracted to a fisherman's daughter. And he wants to marry her. And he goes to the fisherman's daughter, says, give me your daughter's hand, I want to marry her. And to his surprise, the fisherman said, no, I cannot do this, I cannot allow this. Why? I'm the emperor, and you are just a fisherman. He said, well, because you already have a son, that's Devabrata, if I give you my daughter and she gives a son, that son will never be king, because your son from your previous marriage will take precedence. So the king was disappointed, heartbroken. So he went back home and he was very unhappy. But his son, Devabrata, wanted to help him. So he found out why his father is so depressed, that this fisherman will not give him his daughter. What was her name? Satyavati? Yeah. Satyavati. So Devabrata went to Satyavati's father and said, what are you doing? Why don't you give your daughter to my father? So he stated his reasons again. No, because you will be the king, not my daughter's son. No. You just see how he's calculating. They're not even married yet. He hasn't given his daughter, and he's already thinking of the grandson, and that he wants to be king. So he said, I cannot do it. So Devavrata says, listen, if that's what's holding you back, you think I will be king? I swear I will not be king. I will not take the throne. Is that good enough for you? And the fisherman said, that is good, but that's not good enough. He said, what more do you want? He said, you may not sit on the throne, but your son, he'll sit on the throne. He will have preference over my grandson. And at that point, Devavrata said, all right, then I swear, I take an oath, that I will never marry. So I will never have any offspring. And in this comic book, they refer to Bhishma taking this oath, they called it the terrible oath. They said, like poor Bhishma Dev, he took the terrible oath. He is not going to be married. I thought it was funny, because when Bhishma Dev took that oath, the demigods in the heavenly planets showered flowers upon him, and they give him the name Bhishma Dev. And he went on to become powerful ruler of the dynasty. He is one of the 12 Mahajans, the authorities on Vedic wisdom. So, I just remember that by hearing how the people were aggrieved at Lord Chaitanya taking sannyas and giving up his beautiful long hair and dressing like a mendicant. So, next verse, 17. Translation: being the Lord of all yogis, he wandered over the province of Bengal, which was known as Radhadesh. He wandered over the province as a devotee, thus sanctifying the land with his lotus feet. He was known, or he came to be known when he took sannyas, as Krishna Chaitanya. And he rescued all the fallen conditioned souls with the names of Krishna. He ran all over the earth, just like a madman, intoxicated with transcendental, ecstatic, loving emotions. His appearance resembled a mountain of gold. Now you can join. I sing with joy the unending glories of my loving Gaura Sundar, my golden Lord, the divine abode of pure love. Text 18. His association of devotees became even more prestigious by the presence of exalted personalities like Sri Gadadhar and Sri Nityananda. He descended on earth to fulfill the desires of Advaita Acharya, another great personality, who was the foremost of devotees at that time. To please his mother, Sachi, he promised that he would not go far away from her, but remain close by at Purushottam Kshetra, which is Jagannath Puri. And join with me. I sing with joy the unending glories of my loving Gaura Sundar, the beautiful, my golden Lord, the divine abode of pure love. Text number 19. When the Lord of Sannyasis reached Nilachal, Nilachal is also another name of Jagannath Puri, he first delivered the famous Pandit of Vedanta, Vasudev Sarvabhauma. I was told that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, as he's known, is mentioned in the Encyclopedia Britannica as the greatest logician of India. Yeah, his name is there. So he was in the land of India at that time. He was famous everywhere. And you can imagine when Lord Chaitanya converted him, because actually he was Mayavad. He followed the teachings of Shankara, the impersonal conception of God. And Lord Chaitanya was able to turn his head around as a young sannyasi, 24 years old. So that was big news. That was something you would see on CNN. You know? That the great Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is converted by this young sannyasi, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then the Lord proceeded to southern India. He went South India, where there are many followers of different philosophies.
There, like a desire tree, he fulfilled the wishes of the devotees who were living at various holy places in the south. He met Ramananda Rai, who was like a rain cloud of devotion, and he empowered him to shower everywhere the mellows of spontaneous, loving service of Vrindavan, which is known as Raga Bhakti. So this Ramananda Roy, I'll just mention briefly, he's an incarnation of Arjuna, appearing in Chaitanya Leela. As Krishna told Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, many births you and I have been through together. I can remember all of them, but you cannot remember. So, but in this Leela, with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to Ramananda Roy, you are Arjuna. You are one of the Pandavas. Yes, that is another thing. So, now say with me, I sing with joy the unending glories of my loving Gaurasundar, my golden Lord, the divine abode of pure love. Text number 20. This one is a little different, but anyway. Translation. His original and ever-fresh arguments delineating the real conclusions of the Vedas devastated the repeated attempts of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya by means of Chala, Vitanda, Nigraha, and other techniques. These are all Sanskrit terms in grammar. He did this to establish, these are terms that are were used by Sarvabhauma to establish Vivartavad, or the impersonal and atheistic philosophy of Shankara, which is supported by proud men with a demoniac and evil mentality. The Lord preached instead that the entire complex of the Vedic scriptures must be viewed as a temple enshrining Krishna Bhakti. I sing with joy the unending glories of my loving Gaurasundar, my golden Lord, the divine abode of pure love. So this is a little capsule, a brief description of the conversion of, or the deliverance of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Shodhana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said after that, I came to Jagannath Puri just to capture you and deliver you. So Sarvabhauma was so powerful, so big, he was the guru of the king of Orissa, the Raj Prataparudra. He was his guru. And many sannyasis, Mayavad sannyasis, used to come to Sarvabhauma to learn about Vedanta. Of course, this was the Vivartavad, or the impersonalist conception. And Lord Chaitanya was able to defeat all of that and turn Sarvabhauma around to the, and he, as he says here, he said, the Vedic scriptures, which are so vast, must be viewed as a temple enshrining Krishna Bhakti, or devotion to Krishna. This is supported by Krishna himself. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, Vedaischa savai aham eva vedya Vedanta krit
Vedavid eva chaham. He says, I compile the Vedas. I know all the Vedas. And the purpose of studying the Vedas is to know me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is simply echoing the words of Krishna here. So then 21, text number 21. Okay, translation. His tall, beautiful, divine figure, the dwelling place of sweet love, greatly increases the pleasure of the demigods. Lovelier than the moon, his effulgent figure mocks the beauty of hundreds of golden lotus flowers. He embodies the ever-fresh moods of transcendental goodness and loving ecstasy arising from the dancing and singing of the holy names. I sing with joy the unending glories of my golden Lord Gaurasundar, the beautiful divine abode of pure love. And now our last verse for tonight. Translation, text 22. His pilgrimage to South India. This is important. I know many of you come from South India, right? So, Lord Chaitanya went there. His pilgrimage to South India was actually for the purpose of rescuing the residents of that place. As we mentioned earlier, there were many different philosophies circulating in South India. At roadsides and temples and holy sanctuaries, he would chant in sweet tunes, Krishna, 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 hey. This was in the same meter as these shlokas. In the beginning, before we began speaking, I was singing that. Yeah, the Tunaka meter. Also Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one of his songs, Gai Gaura Madhur Swari, he describes the Lord Chaitanya was singing in a sweet voice, Madhur. Sometimes, carried away by some indescribable divine exaltation, he would sing Rama, Rama. He used to say, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. And dance sweetly in ecstatic rhythm. He would deliver one and all, irrespective of time, place, or circumstance, by magnanimously inducing them to chant the holy names of Krishna. This was all over South India. In some of the temples, Srila Prabhupada's Guru Dev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he went there and preached also. And in several temples in the south, he installed footprints of Lord Chaitanya in a plaque. I guess they were able to get footprints of Lord Chaitanya. I think even there's footprints of Krishna that are available in Vrindavan and Govardhan. So, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati enshrined these footprints at some of the temples that Lord Chaitanya visited. So together, I sing with joy the unending glories of my golden Lord Gaurasundar, the divine abode of pure love. So now we are going to sing these 7 shlokas, Sanskrit, beginning from, so the computer man, we'll start at 15, text 15, and we'll go through all the 7 verses. We need a madanga player, drum player. Who can do? Play the melody for me. Okay, together we're singing. Necha Raja Nama Badha Bhakta Biti Bhajanam Laksha Laksha Dipanyasha Koti Kanta Kirtanam Sri Mridanga Talavadya Nitya Kaji Nishtaram Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Sri Lakshalochan Nashuvasha Ashakesha Kataram Koti Kanta Krishna Kirtan Adyadanda Dharanam Nyasi Vesha Sarvadesha Ahutasha Kataram Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Sri Yotisha Bhaktavesha Radhadesha Charanam Krishna Chaitan Yakya Krishna Nama Jiva Taranam Bhava Vibra Matma Mata Dambamana Budaram Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Sri Gadadha Radhinitya Nanda Sangi Vardhanam Advayakya Bhakta Mukhya Vanchitartha Sadhanam Theravasa Sabilasha Matritosha Tatparam Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Nasya Raja Nila Shaila Vasa Sarva Bhumapam Dakshinatya Tirtha Jata Bhakta Kalpa Padapam Nana Megha Raga Bhakti Vrishti Shakti Sancharam Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Rashtra Sarva Bhumavada Navyatarka Shankaram Vasta Tadvi Vartavada Danyaviya Dambaram Dashitartha Sarva Shastra Krishna Bhakti Mandiram Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Prem
Premadama Devameva Numi Gaura Sundaram Premadharma Divya Dirga Deha Deva Nanditam Hema Kanja Punjanindi Kanti Chandra Vanditam Namagana Nitya Navya Divya Bhava Mandiram Premadama Devameva Numi Gaura Sundaram Premadama Devameva Numi Gaura Sundaram Krishna 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 Nama Kirtanam Rama Rama Gana Ramya Divya Chanda Nathanam Yatra Tatra Krishna Nama Dana Loba Nashtaram Premadama Devameva Numi Gaura Sundaram Krishna Krishna Devameva Numi Gaura Sundaram Krishna 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 He Krishna 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 He Krishna 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 Rakshanam Krishna 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 Pahimam Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshamam Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahimam. So, it is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that when Lord Chaitanya did his pilgrimage to South India, this is what he was chanting, non-stop. And as described, everywhere he would stop, thousands of people would gather and he would get them all chanting Hare Krishna. So, as I say, again and again, we have a strong connection with Lord Chaitanya. We are existing because of him. This Hare Krishna movement, Prabhupada writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Hare Krishna movement is another incarnation of Krishna. It was started, it was created, inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And as followers, we should know about Lord Chaitanya. The more we know about him, the more our love for Krishna will develop. Because you cannot speak about Lord Chaitanya without speaking about Krishna. He was always chanting Krishna. Krishna, 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 Hare. And that is what is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. I was earlier in the Sunday talk, I was explaining there's one verse in the 11th canto spoken by one of the Navayogendras, one of the 9 rishis, Kara Bhajana Rishi. And he is speaking to Maharaj Nimi, a great king. And this is long before the appearance of even Krishna, long before Chaitanya. But there, Karbhajana Muni is saying, Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishna Sango Pangastra Parshadam Jagyai Sankirtana Prayai Yajantihi Sumeda Saha.
And Prabhupada would, many times when he would cite this verse, this was one of his frequent verses to establish, to let us know something about Lord Chaitanya. He would, the last line, Yajantihi Sumedasaha. So he said, Sumedasa means those with sharp intellect, or those with sufficient brain substance. And he would say, in a charming way, he would say, not brains with stool substance. You know? When people, at one time in America, in the 70s, our movement was under attack. They were claiming that we are brainwashing people. They were saying this is a cult. But to Prabhupada, the word cult was not a bad word. He used to say, the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Cult comes from culture. It's not a bad word, but the way the media was using it was in a derogatory manner. So they used to say this Hare Krishna is a cult and they're brainwashing people. So when they told this to Prabhupada, this is what they're saying. He said, tell them yes, their brain is full of stool and it needs washing. So we are brainwashing them. Prabhupada used to, Prabhupada's idea was the best defense is a good offense. He didn't just back down. And that's why we are here today. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his appearance day is approaching. Every night you all should try to take a little time and come. You will be pleasantly, you'll enjoy it. There is so much. I'm just touching a drop. This Premadam Deva Stotram, it is a benediction, and at the end of it, the author gives a blessing to those who hear and chant this stotram. He says, they will definitely get love of God by this, because that is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Rupa Goswami and his brother Sanatan at Prayag in Allahabad, Rupa Goswami could understand who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. He was so devoted and so advanced. He was a very intelligent person. Sumedasa. When he saw Lord Chaitanya, he fell down prostrated at his feet, him and his brother. And they were, as I said, they were working for the Muslim government. They were ministers. They were practically running the government so that the Nawab could go out and create terror to the Hindus. So naturally the Hindu people, they ostracized Rupa and Sanatan, because the Muslim king, Nawab Hussain Shah, in the verse, one of the verses, he is referred to as Mlecha Raja, king of the mlechas, king of the meat eaters. He even gave them Muslim names. He changed their names. He gave them, one was called Dabir Kash and the other was called Sakar Malik. And they went by those names. So the Hindu society ostracized them. How could you work? But they had to. They were pressured. But when they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he made them Goswamis. And he gave them the name Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. So, where was I? I was saying something and I strayed off. Oh yes. Yeah, they were saying brainwashing, but Prabhupada said yes, when the brain is filled with stool, needs washing. We let so many things go into our brain. The television is coming into our brain. The newspaper, magazines, these things go into your brain and you can't get rid of them so easy. If you chant Hare Krishna, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. This will cleanse it. So, we are all here because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we should want to know. It's like Prabhupada said, we should want to know about Krishna. There is so much information about Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but if you ask you questions about Krishna Leela, we don't know. So we have to take the time to read, and Krishna was on this planet for 125 years, and he did every day. Every day was a lovely day for him. Every day was wonderful from childhood all the way. Same thing with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we should want to know. And Vyasadeva has kindly given us Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, and Vrindavan Das Thakur has given us the Chaitanya Bhagavat, and Krishnadas Kaviraj has given us the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So there is no scarcity of literature to fill our minds with. Okay? So I won't take up any more of your time. Hare Krishna. So tomorrow night